everyone's having a blessed morning. I'm having a blessed morning on this Saturday. We definitely going to get into this. We definitely going to get into this. So this is part one. It's going to be like we was beaten to speak and write. It's sort of like that, but there's going to be a little difference. It's basically going to be on the same vibe, the same energy, but it's a little different, right? My thing is this. First, I want to address some individuals, right, that I recently talked to, and I feel that it's negative talking to these individuals. You know, you let people talk, right, and it could be from anybody. You let them talk because you actually want to hear how they feel. You want to hear what they say, right? And some people come from a place of ignorance. They come from a place of ignorance, right? And what I mean by ignorance is dumb, deaf, and blind. And what I mean by dumb, deaf, and blind, I mean about spirituality. You see, we as the indigenous people over here, right, in America, in the West, in America, in the West, right? It's an actual true fact. A lot of us don't know that we are not Africans. A lot of us don't know that we are not black. A lot of us don't know that we are not African Americans, right? So basically, we are clinging on to any and everything to bring identity and to bring awareness to us, and at the same time being lost. And while we are lost, we are losing. Because the foundation of our connection and the foundation to the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence, right, is spirituality. See, we going around circles. And we have different groups out here. And all these groups mean as well. It means as well because a lot of these groups was set up because we didn't know exactly who we were. And we needed to connect to something to find out exactly who are we. Who are we? We got the gods in earth. We got the Muslims. We got the Nation of Islam. We got the Israelites. We got the Nubians. We got the Moors. We got all of these groups because they're groups. But we are all one civilization. We are able descendants. That's who we exactly are. And before we came into the physical form, we were spiritual. Spiritual and spirituality, right? There's no beginning to end. There's no beginning to end to the spirituality and to your actually spirit, right? Which the Alpha Omega, the creator, and everything existent breath inside of you. And a lot of people don't know that. People already know. No, everybody don't know that. Everybody don't know that because you know why? We are living in a life which is procreated for your demise. And I can tell and see that you are living a life of ignorance. And what I mean by ignorance, I'm talking about spirituality. You have not tapped into your full potential of spirituality. You still got a long way to go, which is understandable. And when you deal with me and talk to me, I always come from a spiritual life, a spiritual existence because I've been here for a long time. So just to vibe with me, talk to me is amazing. Just to vibe and talk to me is amazing. You understand what I'm saying? Because I beat the odds. I went in the actually devil. I went in the actually darkness and been there in the darkness and survived the darkness and see the actually trickery that he used to see everything, the failures, everything, basically, for our demise and how he is killing multiple of our future and our children. This is the actual true fact. I don't think that you know that. You may see it. I don't think that you know that. You have not seen the full potential of darkness as it overspread you. Because if you did, I know for sure you will run away. And I know for sure that if it come up against you, you will run away. Because it's not human. So I want to talk about this. And I want to show a video. We had the Nation of Islam and we had unity. We had all these brothers come together in Harlem on 125th, right? And there was a discussion, and shout out to Smart. Smart was there. He was on to something. One of the questions was, how can we build a language? How can we build a language? And you had many different options. People were talking about many different options. I can tell by they having conversation that a lot of them, they onto something, but they are lost. They are lost. This is an actual true fact. This is why it's really, really important on this platform to talk about it, to speak about it. You know why? Because this will bridge the gap between all of us, right? As darkness overspreaders. This is much needed. This platform is much needed. Smart was onto something. He said telekinesis, telepathically talking to each other, and then it stopped from there. Our civilization over here in the West, we don't have a language. We didn't have a language. Our language is sign language. They already know that. So being that everybody knows sign language, which came from the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence, which was taught to us through the angels. The angels taught us sign language, and we took it from here and we brought it down here, sign language. But the most greatest gift that he gave to mankind, gave to us, is telekinesis and telepathically talking to one another. That nobody can take. Nobody can interfere in that. Nobody. Have you ever seen the movie Firestarter? You see how she Firestarter, right? I want you to go check that movie out, Firestarter. But she used her mind to shoot fire. She gathered all the elements of the earth, and shot fire bombs and blew people up. That is equivalent to our mind power. How the Creator gave that to us. That's an actual fact. To actually lift up things, boulders, and lift up objects with our mind, and telepathically talk to Him, and telepathically talk to each other. That's what He blessed our civilization with. And you know, for example, how, now I don't want to get into this, but you know how you chilling with your boys, you chilling with people, you chilling with your peers on the corner, and somebody wound up shot or deceased. You're like, yo, this was with him. I felt something was going on. I felt it. But I just ain't tell him what I was feeling. That is our connection to one another. We feel our thoughts. That's how connected this civilization is over, which has been lost and indoctrinated and wiped out because they wiped all our elders out. We are spiritual beings before we are physical. Before our physical, right? Before our spirit is cloaked and our spirit and our soul is cloaked with this physical existence of the earth. We are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings. That's part of the foreverness. That's part of no beginning and end. I want you to understand who we are. You understand what I'm saying? This is why the metal was sent down to us, because we was dying off. It came down through the angels so we could protect our physical. So let's get into this video. I'm gonna get into this video. I'm gonna pause it first.
How do we create our own language? In the prison system, somebody coming to the spot, you're gonna have a theater.
How do we create our own language?
Things that we need that can unify us, right? How do we get How do we create our own language? In the prison system, somebody coming to the spot, yo que lo contigo, they told that Spanish shit they brothers never, right? What does it look like for us to create our own singular language that every black man can speak? I look at it as double voice. So double voice meaning...
Okay, the question is, how can we create our own language? We never had a language, right? So Smart posed the question to him, how can we create our own language? How can we create our own language? We never had a language. Our language was sign language and telepathically talking to one another. That's the first and foremost. You see, but he's giving him, I'm not saying that he's baiting him. I'm not saying that he's baiting him, but he's asking him a question. He's saying devil voices. So he's onto something, but he's not onto something, right? And we have to understand that a lot of people, and I'm not saying that, I don't know nobody's heart. A lot of people do things for fame, fortune, and riches, likes, shares, subscribes, likes, cameras, and actions. The more views that they get, the more money that they get. The more views and the more shares and likes that they get, the more money that they get in their pocket, because we have to pay bills. But if you keep things on a spiritual sense, on a spiritual knowledge, growth and understanding, we would get rewarded in this life and in the next. Actually, we already rewarded in this life and in the next. We haven't tapped into this yet because we have used this physical realm as a physical gain of money. We've been diluted. We've been misled. We've been hoodwinked to treat this earth as our everlasting place, and this is not our everlasting place. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to get out of this concept of like, shares, and subscribe, which is understandable. I understand that. But when you take it to another level and doing things for money and doing things for physical gain, right? And you got a big mansion and you got all of these things, and I'm not saying nothing is wrong with this, but you can tell the difference. And I'm not saying that there. You have to be very careful because this entity can use you, as we've seen in the past, to mislead everybody. Yes, you speaking knowledge, wisdom, or understanding, but you're using it as a scam to scam people. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to be very, very careful. So he asking, how can we create our own language? We never had a language. We never spoke. We never talked a word. It was forbidden. This civilization over here in the West, that what we call America, it was forbidden for us to speak. And actually, it is forbidden. It is forbidden to speak. On a smaller scale, the prophet, peace be upon him, says that if you have nothing good to say, keep quiet. This is why you got lips and teeth. You got two gates to close your mouth, right? You only speak when spoken to, through the Alpha Omega, the creator and everything existing. This is an actual true fact. Because if he were to speak, this whole entire existence will crumble. It will all crumble. So this is why telekinesis is really, really important. It's really, really important among us. Really, really important. And I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that.
We saying something that the public hear, but only us understand. You understand me? The slaves did that back in the day. They did it through songs, hymns, but they also had certain words. They say certain things. They have symbols on.
He said the slaves did that in the other way. They used signals. See, that tells you right there, it was sign language. It was sign language, and at the time, people wasn't catching on. When we was fighting these individuals, they wasn't catching on. It was passed on from generation to generation. So what happened was they had to wipe out all the elders. They had to kill all the elders off because they couldn't pass off the knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And anyone that can connect to each other mentally, spiritually, using telekinesis, right, and telepathically talking to each other, they had to wipe you out. They had to wipe you out. They couldn't have you there. So they killed and burned you in front of everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand this.
A shirt that was inside the quilt. You didn't know that was a post for Runaway. You didn't know that was a poster saying that, yo, the catchers are on their way. You understand me? It goes through symbols and it goes through double voice. So when you say unity, what is he really saying? You know what I'm saying? When you say neutralize, what are you really saying? But how do we say, okay, listen, not saying in code though. I'm not advocating for code, right? Language is code for those who don't understand. Yeah, dog, what I'm saying is, how do we, right? And this is me being.
It was very, very important not to speak. It was very, very important not to speak. We understand that assignment. This is why we don't got no language. We never had no language. We never had no language. We are spiritual beings, powerful spiritual being from up here. Don't you know and understand that we are ancient over here in the West, in the West, in the West. We are ancient. Let me tell you something. You know, individuals talking about people already know this, people already know that. So if these individuals know, where are they? Where are they? Why are they hiding? Why are they not manifesting the spiritual insight, the spiritual power, and the gift that the Alpha, Omega, the Creator, and everything exists and have blessed upon them to lead and guide us and guide the people? Because you know why? Because you know why? People are lip professing. They lip professing what's not in the heart, soul, and mind. Do you understand that? The lip is talking, but what they hold inside their soul, spirit, heart, and mind is not there, is empty. You just spreading the knowledge, but you as an individual are an empty shell. Do you understand that? Which mixed in with dumb, deaf, and blind. We have to understand this from a different point of view. This is only to gain physical money. This is to gain fame, fortune, and riches. This have we been dumbed down to, being that we are already blessed. We are already blessed. But being that, you know, our minds and souls are diluted, we can't wake up. It's too far gone. Only a selective few are called, but many are chosen. Do you understand that? Only a selective few will be called, but many are chosen. They are not of that selective few. They are of that many. I want people to understand that. Everybody can't do this. Because if everybody can do it, us as a civilization, us as the indigenous people of this earth and of this land, we will be more stronger. I mean, telepathically. That's the only way. We have to talk to each other telepathically. We have to stop speaking. Don't even use sign language. That's why he gave us two language. Sign language and telepathically talk to each other. We have the ability. It's weak, but we can strengthen the less. I mean, strengthen the link. We can strengthen it. All those brothers, they talked about it in that video. So I want you to go check that video out. They talked about it. They felt each other's presence. He felt his presence in Chicago. I felt him in Oakland. He felt me in Detroit. We feel each other, right? And we telepathically talking to each other because it's spiritual. It's a spiritual realm. This is a spiritual realm. We are spiritual beings. This is an actual true fact. And once we connect with that, then that is the majority of the battle. Once we build that to connect with one another, because they won't be able to tell how they speaking with each other. Even though they know that we could talk to each other telepathically. This is why the drugs are here and the alcohol to keep you dumb, deaf, and blind. So we won't connect to one another and warn each other. So this is the language. We don't have a language. We never did have a language. Did we teach other language? Yes. Did we teach the dumb, deaf, and blind language in mathematics and chemistry and science and zodiology, astronomy, all of these other things? Yes, we did. We taught all civilizations that. Yes, we did. But did we specifically speak? No. No. Because we taught each and every civilization telepathically communication. This is an actual true fact, and we have to understand this. This is why everybody can't talk this. Everybody cannot talk because they're coming from a place of not having the knowledge. They onto something, but not having the deep, deep knowledge. And this is why spirituality is really, really important amongst us. It's only a selective few, but many are chosen. I'm the interpreter. I'm the interpreter. With the help of the Alpha Omega, the creating everything existing with his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which he has blessed upon me, to bring it back to the foundation, to able descendants. We are able descendants. You see, the knowledge that I'm kicking, everybody did not know that. That's a lie. You know, I sit here talking to people. People know that knowledge. No, they did not. No, they did not. We was told. People still talking that we are black. People still talking that we African American. People are still talking. And this if you go check, right, this video, they still talking that we are black and that we were slaves. They still talking that. And when you talk that, what you're doing is bringing more curse upon us as a civilization and don't even realize it because it's in your mind, it's embedded in your mind that we were slaves, that we were shackled. We gotta correct that first. We are not African. We are our own civilizations. I need for y'all to understand that and get this information out to all these brothers. You see, I'm not saying they are barking on a life where we all need this. See, this is our problem. This is our problem. The problem is that it's physical. We have to tap into spirituality. Spirituality. And that's the only way that we can win. Telepathically talking to each other. Stop the drug use. Stop the marijuana. See, the marijuana right now, it has fentanyl in it. Right? It has that trink drug in it. Trach. That trach drug in it. And it has all the different type of chemicals in it to keep you dumb, deaf, and blind. It's an actual true fact. So we never had no language, right? It was beaten for us to speak and talk. They taught us the writing, the speaking, and the English. That was beaten in us because we are a civilization that never taught. They had to beat that inside of us for years and years and years. See, they've been telling you that you was killed and murdered because you was reading and writing. No, you was killed and murdered because you did not speak or talk. That's the reason why. It's the opposite. Stop believing in the lies. And what's going on is that it's being spread among us because we don't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. When you are doing things for all of these things, they're actually doing things for this. You may get the subscribers, you may get the fans, you may get everything, but in reality, you're not coming from a spiritual point of view or spiritual place. You're doing things to become famous. You're doing things to become famous. In the spiritual realm, I'm already famous. I actually fought some demons, and I don't think that you understand that. You may have fought demons in this physical realm, but there's an army secretly in the spiritual realm. Do you understand that? That we used to fight. We fought them. This is why we could change. This is why the Creator blessed His Spirit upon us to fight evil, to fight this entity. Do you understand that? See, now I'm getting deep with you now. See, brothers is not talking about that because they don't have no knowledge. So now you sitting here saying that they didn't have knowledge about this? Where are they? Tell me, bring them right here in front of me or just inside YouTube and let's talk about it. Tell me what knowledge and wisdom understanding gave this to you and show me in the scriptures where the Creator tells you that we did that. He tells you But you're not going to figure it out. You're going to think it's something else. We fought them. This entity, you think that we just was created? We was created for justice and balance. And the things that was here before us, we was here to fight them and keep balance and keep them at bay. Do you understand that? That's why he cloaked the spirit, right? Cloaked the spirit with the earth. So we could be in tune with the earth, and gave us all the benefits of the earth to take care of the earth, to stop these entities which he created, gave free will, and keep them at bay. That's right. Do you understand this? I want you to understand this. I don't think that you understand this from the spiritual realm, because if you did, you'll be talking about this. And this is why we keep going around circles, because nobody's not focused on spirituality. Everybody's focused on physical. But we tried that in the past with the Black Panthers. Shout out to the Black Panthers. We tried physically. This topic that I'm talking about, we need to discuss this amongst very elite people, amongst elders that understand this. Do you understand that? I'm the interpreter. I am here, and I'm not alone from the spiritual realm. So don't think that I'm alone. Do you understand that? I've been here for a very, very long time. In the spiritual realm, I'm considered an elder. Yeah, I'm considered an elder. A young elder. And I want you to understand this and to get this information out and share and like this, because it's really, really important that we do this from a spiritual point of view, from a point of view that's going to get our children and our loved ones to the next life. While you are here figuring out how to stay here upon this earth, my job is to get you to understand that yes, we are part of the earth and protect the earth, but our objective is to get back to the foreverness and where we come from the spiritual realm. Because before we was physical, we was in the spiritual realm. Do you understand that? We are the creators us, but with limitations. And I want you to understand that. So I'm coming from all angles. Spirituality. I'm coming from the gods and earth nation. I'm coming from all angles and covering all angles, because it's all needed. Yes, there's teachers over there, teaching over there, but there's only one teaching: to worship the Alpha Omega, the created everything in existence. Do you understand that? We have to get it on the one page, and stop bickering with one another. Once you do that, you'll be okay. I want you to understand that.